Hello to me, Smigo, Sam Possible, Mika's, my name is Taff316. Welcome back to another episode of Reading Your Comments, episode 216. It is Sunday, or maybe Saturday if you're watching this a day early on Patreon. For those who don't know, Patrons have the option to watch these, as well as the reaction videos up to a day early, sometimes more, and of course you get your name in the video description as well. Regardless of what day you were watching this on, though, let's go ahead and read some comments. Johnny Vegas was a guest on Series 2, Episode 7 of The Great Pottery Throwdown. Seemed like a bit of an odd choice, but turns out he studied pottery at a university where he was actually taught by one of the show's judges. Might be a fun episode to do if you can find it. I did not know that about Johnny. For some reason, it doesn't surprise me, but I didn't know that. I definitely love to see more Yes Minister and Have I Got News for You. Well, like I said, Yes Minister is on the short list, so it'll be back at some point here. There'll be a new reaction to Have I Got News for You this week. You mentioned Jerry Springer is fake. I didn't find out the show was fake until one of my mom's friends appeared on the show. I was so confused. That sounds like a hilarious way to find out the show is fake. It's like, oh, hey, Auntie. I'm like, oh my god, wait a minute. Why are you on television? Why are you dressed as a chicken? Love the double episode uploads, a random trivia. This scene is still Game of Wowza in the lift, guessing why they are dressed up. I'm sure the actors, writers who played Jack and Victor have said that they had to come up with that scene episode just as short of time as they were too hungover to want to do anything. So they gave Wowza that big monologue, really. So they were just like, they're just like, fuck it. We just like, I can't be asked to work. We'll just let her talk. That's, you know, I mean, that's her whole character is babbling away. So not a better person. Hey Taff, thanks as always, but quick question. You used to upload your videos same time every day at 8 a.m. GMT time. How come you don't upload at those times anymore? I still do, just sometimes I don't, and the reason I don't sometimes is whenever I do a full series reaction, it usually takes me all day, and I'm not usually good at getting ahead in my schedule. I am now. If you check Patreon right now, I'm very much ahead of my schedule because I'm prepping to do some full series reactions, but when I'm not ahead of my schedule and it takes me full day, usually the Patrons pay to see the videos early, so I want to make sure that they at least can see the videos early for a decent amount of time. So that's why recently some videos have been released later in the day, so the Patrons have an adequate amount of time to see them early. But like I said, I'm ahead of schedule now, and I'm gonna try to at least stay somewhat that way so I don't get behind anymore, but we'll see what happens. In Scotland, we say a plate of soup. In England, it's a bowl of soup. It's why we hate them. You hate them for being correct? Plate of soup doesn't make any fucking sense. Who eats soup off a plate? How would you even get the soup on a plate? I will, without spoilers, confirm that the Goes Wrong show does not get stale. As a comedy of errors, they change the genres and explore different errors from episode to episode. Also character traits and arcs form. Well, that's good, because there was a bunch of that in Peter Pan. Misfit Feeder did a lot of online shows during COVID with audience-generated ideas and improv. I trust their ability to keep things fresh and energetic. It also gave us the legend that is Delta Von Trussell, the man with no name. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one, but I'm glad to hear from someone who's watched the show that this show progresses well. Because again, that was my biggest fear going into it, and the reason I didn't want to binge it. Because like, okay, you know, if it goes, you know, it's like, oh, stuff goes wrong, but like that gag can start to get old. But I didn't even think about, you know, arcs potentially forming, because there was a lot of different arcs through Peter Pan Goes Wrong, which is what made it so great. Really, it was part of what made it so great. Was that whole, you know, there's multiple different storylines in just that one special, and just that like 80-minute special. So yeah, I for whatever reason didn't think about that, but that should be good. Psychics are con margins. Best story I've heard was one at the Edinburgh Festival who was terrible, spent almost an hour trying to get something right with anyone in the audience. Eventually he said to someone, "You've recently suffered a bereavement, haven't you? And it was cancer, wasn't it?" The person said yes, and he was caught in the mic quietly saying to himself yes in a triumphant way as he had got one. Yeah, I mean, they're just the worst people. Like, these people take, you know, I don't want to say, I don't necessarily want to say dumb people, because that's not fair, because when you're emotionally vulnerable, it's hard to be in your right state of mind. You know, you're not in your right state of mind if you're emotionally vulnerable. You know, they take emotionally vulnerable people and manipulate them and charge them money to basically either tell them made up shit or shit that they just gauged off coincidence. I'll be so down for a reaction to Stone Tapes or Hammer House of Horror if you can find them online. I actually found some of the Hammer House of Horror on YouTube. I don't think I can put it on YouTube because it looks like the channel who has it on there has like a contract to put it on YouTube, so I don't think I could put it on YouTube. But it looks fun. I think I might do that. Okay, I'm Psychic Noah. I bet you this comment won't be on reading your comments. Well, it is, so joke's on you. Haha. Wait a minute. I remember having to watch Charlie Brooker in media studies class for look at way news programs are formatted. No better teacher than someone ripping the piss out of how it's made. You got to watch that in school, bro? I mean, it sounds like university, to be fair, but I would have loved to have watched Charlie in school. Quick question. If you have to have sex with a person who may or may not have AIDS and choose to wear or not wear a condom, what would you do? Well, I would simply not have sex with somebody who may or may not have AIDS. Because why the fuck would I do that? Diane Morgan has recently blown up in the US because of her show Kunk on Earth that went to Netflix. Ah, okay, that's probably what I've seen a clip of. She parodies historical documentaries that are very funny. You know, I also just saw another show that she's in. And you're going to see it on here the day after tomorrow. So look forward to that. Alright, y'all, that's going to do it for another episode of Reading Your Comments. The comments in this video were pulled from the following videos. Last week's episode of Reading Your Comments, number 215, Still Game 3132, The Goes Wrong Show 2, Charlie Brooker's Scream Wipe 3, News Wipe with Charlie Brooker, and Charlie Brooker's Weekly Wipe. We were on a bit of a Charlie Brooker binge this week, if you couldn't tell. If you want a chance to get your comment read in next week's episode of Reading Your Comments, the videos to comment on are as follows. This video, obviously, the reaction video that came out yesterday, which was I'm Alan Partridge 4, the reaction video that comes out tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Those are the videos to comment on if you want a chance to get your comment read in next week's episode of Reading Comments. But that is going to do it for me today. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to leave it a like. If you didn't like it, don't. If you want to follow any of my social media links, my Twitch, where I stream every single day, my second channel, First Any Views, my Twitter, if you want to follow me, my Patreon, if you want to support me on my daily motion, all those things are in the video description down below, as well as the Twitch Files channel and the community Reddit. Thank you to all of my patrons also who are named in the video description for so you can support me and my channel. For those that don't know, you can be a patron on me for as little as $1 or £1. You get extra reaction videos as well as a review comes up to a day early, sometimes more. Right now, actually, the patrons can see the reaction videos that are currently due up to Wednesday. Like I said, I'm ahead of schedule, so their direction videos up to Wednesday are currently available on Patreon. With all that being said, though, my name is Taff16. This has been my episode 216 of Reading Your Comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.